My brilliant students, let me start with a question. Have you ever sat down to study, and after 2 hours, realized you remember nothing? You read the same page again and again, but your brain feels tired, bored, and full. You start thinking, maybe I'm not smart enough. But let me tell you something powerful. It's not your brain that's the problem. It's your method. You don't need to be a genius to study fast. You just need to study smart. When you learn the secrets I'm about to share, you'll realize studying fast isn't magic. It's a system. A system that can turn ordinary students into top achievers. So, stay with me until the end, because I'm going to reveal 8 secret methods that will make you study faster, remember longer, and learn with joy. Ready, my students? Let's begin your transformation. Secret 1. Study with a clear goal. My brilliant students, here's the first and most powerful secret to studying fast. You must study with a clear goal. Most students open their books without direction. They flip pages, highlight random lines, and tell themselves, I'll just study whatever I can. But that's one of the biggest mistakes a learner can make. When you study without a goal, your brain becomes confused. It doesn't know what to focus on, and as a result, it gets tired easily. You end up reading for hours, yet remembering almost nothing. But when you set a clear and specific goal, everything changes. Your brain loves clarity. It works like a GPS. If you give it a clear destination, it will find the fastest route. But if you don't tell it where to go, it will just wander around and waste energy. That's why top students always start their study sessions with one simple question. What exactly do I want to achieve right now? Before you open your book, pause for a moment and write down your goal. It could be something small like, I will understand Chapter 2, The Human Brain. Or it could be something measurable like, I will learn 20 new vocabulary words today. Maybe it's practice-based, such as, I will solve 10 math problems without help. Whatever your goal is, make sure it's clear, focused, and achievable within the time you have. When you study with a specific goal, your focus becomes sharp like a laser. You stop wasting time on random scrolling, distractions, or unnecessary details. Your mind knows what matters most, and it begins to filter information automatically. You start studying faster because you're no longer trying to do everything. You're doing one thing that truly matters. Think about it this way. An archer never shoots an arrow without aiming. A traveler never starts a journey without a map. Then why should a student start studying without a goal? If you don't have a target, you can't hit it. That's the simple truth. And here's another secret. Small goals create big achievements. You don't have to study the entire book in one night. Just focus on one clear goal at a time. One page, one topic, one concept. When you complete that goal, you'll feel confident. That confidence will push you to take on the next goal. Over time, this builds unstoppable momentum. So, my brilliant students, from today, never study without a goal. Even 30 minutes of focused, goal-based study is more powerful than 3 hours of random reading. Every time you sit down to learn, tell your brain exactly what you want it to do. Direct your focus, guide your effort, and take control of your learning. Because remember, when your goal is clear, your path becomes simple. And when your path is simple, your progress becomes fast. That's how ordinary students become extraordinary achievers. One clear goal at a time. Secret 2. Use the Pomodoro power. My brilliant students, have you ever studied for hours and felt like your brain was melting? You read the same line over and over, your eyes feel heavy, and suddenly everything seems confusing. That's because your brain isn't designed to focus for long, unbroken hours. It needs rest. It needs rhythm. And that's where one of the smartest and most powerful study techniques comes in, the Pomodoro technique. This method is simple, yet life-changing. You don't need any fancy app or tool, just a timer, a notebook, and your full attention. Here's how it works. Study for 25 minutes with complete focus, then take a 5-minute break. That's one Pomodoro. After completing 4 Pomodoros, take a longer break of 15 to 20 minutes. Sounds easy, right? But don't be fooled by its simplicity. This technique can completely transform how you study and how fast you learn. Why does it work so well? Because your brain has a natural attention cycle. Research shows that the human brain can stay deeply focused for only about 25 to 30 minutes before it starts losing energy. After that, your concentration drops sharply. When you push yourself beyond that limit without rest, you end up wasting time. You might be sitting for hours, but your learning efficiency goes down. The Pomodoro technique helps you work with your brain, not against it. Those short 25-minute sessions keep your focus at its highest level, and the 5-minute breaks give your brain just enough time to recharge. It's like sprinting in short bursts instead of running a long, exhausting marathon. You'll feel more alert, more active, and, surprisingly, less tired. But here's the golden rule. During those 25 minutes, give your absolute best. No phone, no social media, no multitasking, just you and your goal. Whether it's reading a chapter, solving problems, or memorizing words, stay fully present. When the timer rings, stop immediately and take your break. Stand up, stretch your arms, drink some water, or simply close your eyes and breathe deeply. Let your mind relax. Then, when you return, your focus will feel renewed, sharper, stronger, faster. At first, it might feel strange to take so many breaks, but try it for just 7 days, and you'll notice a huge difference. You'll complete more in 2 hours of Pomodoro study than in 4 hours of traditional study. Your motivation will increase, your distractions will decrease, and your brain will feel lighter and happier. Remember this, my students, studying fast doesn't mean studying endlessly. It means studying wisely. The Pomodoro technique helps you do exactly that. It teaches your brain the rhythm of focus and rest. So, from today, turn your timer into your study partner. Let each Pomodoro be a step toward mastery. Because when you study in short, powerful bursts, your learning speed doesn't just increase, it multiplies. Secret 3. Teach what you learn. My brilliant students, do you want to know one of the fastest and most effective ways to remember anything you study? The secret is simple. Teach what you learn. Yes, teaching might sound like something only a real teacher can do, but in reality, anyone can use this method to study faster and understand deeply. When you explain concepts in your own words, your brain is forced to organize information in a clear, logical way. This process moves knowledge from your short-term memory, which is fragile and temporary, into long-term memory, where it becomes permanent and easy to recall. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever noticed how teachers often seem to know everything? They explain complicated ideas with ease, answer questions, and make learning look simple. But here's the secret. Teachers don't just read, they teach. And that act of teaching is what makes their understanding so strong. When you teach, you process information on a deeper level. You see connections, notice gaps in your understanding, and solidify your knowledge. That's why teachers often retain information far better than students who only read or memorize. You don't need a real classroom to use this method. You don't even need a friend or student to listen. You can teach to your wall, your notebook, or even your mirror. Simply speak out loud. For example, if you're learning English grammar, you can say, "So the past tense of go is went." If you're studying science, you might say, "In this chapter, Newton explained 3 laws of motion: the law of inertia, the law of acceleration, and the law of action-reaction." When you speak out loud, your brain processes the information in multiple ways, visually, audibly, and mentally, making your understanding stronger and more permanent. Teaching also helps you discover what you don't know. When you try to explain a concept, you might stumble or realize that a part is unclear. That's not a failure. That's a sign of growth. It tells you exactly where to focus next. Each time you teach, you refine your knowledge, making your brain sharper and your memory more powerful. Here's another benefit. Teaching increases your confidence. As you explain ideas clearly, even to an imaginary audience, you build the courage to speak, write, and apply your knowledge. You stop fearing exams because you already know that you understand the material deeply. So, my brilliant students, if you want to study fast, start teaching fast. Turn yourself into your own teacher every time you sit to study. Read a page, close the book, and explain it as if someone is listening. Your memory will grow stronger, your understanding will deepen, and studying will become faster, easier, and even more enjoyable. Remember this: teaching isn't just a way to help others, it's the most powerful way to help yourself. So speak, explain, and share with your wall, mirror, or notebook. With this method, you'll learn more in 1 hour than most students do in an entire afternoon of reading. Teaching what you learn is not just a study hack. It's the key to mastering any subject faster than you ever thought possible. Secret 4. Use mind maps and colors. My brilliant students, here's a truth that can completely change the way you study. Your brain doesn't think in straight lines. Unlike a book or a notebook, your brain works with images, colors, patterns, and connections. That's why traditional note-taking, writing long paragraphs or copying lines after lines, is often slow, boring, and ineffective. If you want to study fast and remember more, you need to think like your brain thinks, and that's where mind maps and colors come into play. A mind map is a visual way of organizing information. Instead of writing page after page of text, you draw a diagram. Start with the main topic in the center of the page. Then, branch out into smaller ideas or subtopics, connecting them with lines. You can also add colors to each branch to make it more vivid and memorable. For example, if you are studying English grammar, place English grammar in the center. Then branch out to tenses, and from there, create smaller branches: past, present, and future. You can use red for rules, blue for examples, and green for keywords. Why does this method work so well? Because your mind loves patterns and pictures. When you create a colorful visual map, your brain doesn't just read the information, it sees it, remembers it, and forms connections between concepts. This makes recall faster and understanding deeper. Unlike traditional notes that your brain might skim over, a mind map actively engages multiple parts of your mind: visual, logical, and memory. That's why students who use mind maps often remember information after just one reading. Here's how to get started. After reading a chapter or learning a topic, take a blank sheet of paper and create a mind map. Place the main concept in the center, draw branches for subtopics, and add colors, symbols, or small sketches. You don't need to be an artist. Even simple lines and colors work perfectly. Once your mind map is ready, review it the next day. You'll be amazed at how much easier it is to recall everything. You won't have to reread pages or cram notes. Your brain already knows the connections. Mind maps also help you see the bigger picture. When you study large subjects, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by so much information. But a mind map organizes everything visually, so you can see how one concept links to another. You'll notice patterns, repetitions, and key points more clearly. It's like turning a messy jungle of facts into a clear, organized map that your brain can navigate easily. So, my brilliant students, if you want to study fast, don't just write, draw, connect, and color. Make your notes visually powerful and engaging. Try it for one chapter, and you'll feel a difference immediately. Mind maps are not just a tool. They are a bridge between your eyes, your mind, and your memory. Use this method consistently, and your recall, understanding, and speed of learning will grow faster than ever before. The power of colors and connections is a secret that top students have known for years. Now, it's your turn. Secret 5. Review before you forget. My brilliant students, here's a truth that most learners ignore, but it can completely change the way you study. You forget almost everything you learn if you don't review it. Studies show that within just 2 days, you can forget up to 80% of what you tried to memorize, no matter how hard you studied the first time. That's why some students spend hours reading, yet struggle to recall even the basics during exams. But the good news is, you can beat this forgetting curve. And the key is simple. Review before you forget. Fast learners don't rely on a single study session. They know that one-time reading is never enough. Instead, they use smart review techniques to reinforce what they've learned. One of the most powerful methods is called spaced repetition. This involves reviewing material at carefully timed intervals so your brain strengthens the memory each time. Here's a simple pattern you can follow. Review the information after 1 day, then again after 3 days, again after 7 days, and finally after 15 days. Each review acts like a workout for your brain, making the memory stronger and longer lasting. Why does this method work so well? Think of your brain like a muscle. If you lift weights just once, your muscles won't grow. But if you train them regularly, consistently, and progressively, your strength increases. Similarly, reviewing information before it fades keeps your memory active and your mind sharp. The more you review, the more your brain builds strong neural connections, making it easier to recall everything when you need it. Here's how you can apply it in your daily study routine. After studying a chapter, write down key points or create flashcards. The next day, quickly review them. You don't need to read the entire chapter again. Focus on recalling the main ideas and concepts. Then, follow the 3-day, 7-day, and 15-day schedule. Each time, your recall will become faster, and you'll notice that you remember details you might have forgotten without the review. Reviewing regularly doesn't just improve memory, it also boosts confidence. When you walk into a test or exam, you feel calm because your brain has already reinforced the material multiple times. There's no last-minute panic, no stress, and no cramming. This method makes learning more efficient, more enjoyable, and far less stressful. So, my brilliant students, don't make the mistake of studying hard just once. Study smart and review consistently. Make it a habit. Each review is an investment in your memory and understanding. With this method, your brain will stop forgetting, and you will become a master of every subject you study. Remember, the power of learning lies not in how much you read in one sitting, but in how wisely you review before the knowledge slips away. Keep practicing this secret, and your study speed, memory, and confidence will grow faster than you ever imagined. Secret 6. Train your environment. My brilliant students, here's a secret that many learners overlook, but it can dramatically change how fast and effectively you study. Your environment affects your brain more than you think. You cannot expect to study quickly or remember efficiently if your surroundings are chaotic, distracting, or uninspiring. If your desk is messy, with papers, gadgets, and random objects scattered everywhere, your mind reflects that chaos. Your brain struggles to focus because it is constantly distracted by the clutter. Studying in a slow or messy environment slows your learning, no matter how motivated you feel. That's why the first step to fast learning is to train your environment. Before you even open your books, take a few minutes to organize your space. Clear your desk, keep only the essentials: your notebook, pen, books, and perhaps a bottle of water. Remove anything that can pull your attention away, like your phone, unnecessary papers, or snacks. If your phone is necessary, switch it to silent or put it in another room. The fewer distractions, the more your brain can concentrate on learning. For some students, using earplugs or soft instrumental music helps maintain focus, blocking out external noise. The key is to make your study space a power zone, a place where your brain immediately recognizes, now it's time to focus. Here's another secret. Consistency amplifies your results. Try to study in the same place and at the same time every day. When you repeatedly sit at the same desk during a specific time, your brain forms a habit loop. Over time, you won't need to force focus. Your brain automatically becomes alert and ready to learn. The environment becomes a trigger that prepares your mind for productive study sessions. This is exactly what fast learners do. They don't rely on motivation alone because motivation comes and goes. Instead, they create a system where the environment itself drives productivity. You can also personalize your study space to make it motivating. Add a small inspirational quote, a vision board, or a tidy stack of your most important books. Keep your space clean and visually appealing, because a neat and organized environment reduces stress and improves concentration. Even small changes, like proper lighting and a comfortable chair, can improve your ability to study longer without fatigue. Your brain senses these details and feels supported, which helps you retain information faster. Remember, my students, your environment is like the soil for your mind. If the soil is messy and unhealthy, the seeds of knowledge won't grow properly. But if you prepare your environment carefully, remove distractions, and make it consistent, your learning becomes natural, effortless, and fast. So, from today, treat your Study space like your personal learning lab. Train it, organize it, and protect it. Let it become the place where focus flows automatically, where your brain performs at its peak, and where every session brings you closer to your goals. When your environment is designed for success, your brain works with you, not against you. And that's how fast learners win. Study smart, create your power zone, and watch your progress accelerate. Secret 7. Practice active recall. My brilliant students, here's a secret that separates ordinary learners from truly fast learners. Active recall. Many students make the mistake of reading and rereading their notes or textbooks endlessly, thinking that repetition alone will help them remember. But here's the truth. If you only read over and over, your brain will not retain most of the information. That's why so many students forget everything during exams, even after hours of studying. Fast learners know the key to remembering quickly isn't reading more. It's testing yourself and recalling information actively. Active recall is simple, yet incredibly powerful. After you finish studying a topic or a chapter, close your book and ask yourself questions. For example, you might ask, "What were the 5 key points I just learned?" Or, "Can I explain this topic in my own words without looking at the notes?" You can also think like a teacher and ask yourself, "What question might the teacher ask about this chapter?" By forcing your brain to retrieve information, you strengthen the neural pathways associated with that knowledge. Every time you pull information from memory, your brain gets stronger, and your recall becomes faster and more accurate. Why is active recall so effective? Because memory is not just about storing information, it's about retrieving it when needed. Your brain is like a muscle. If you never exercise it, it stays weak. But when you actively try to recall information, you are exercising your memory, building deeper connections, and making the knowledge stick for the long term. This is much more effective than passive reading or highlighting because it engages your mind at a higher level. You're not just recognizing information, you're producing it, which is what your brain needs to remember it permanently. Here's how to practice active recall efficiently. After studying a topic, write down a set of questions on flashcards or in a notebook. Cover your notes and try to answer them without peeking. If you get it wrong, check your notes and repeat the process until you can answer confidently. Another approach is to teach the topic to yourself, or even aloud to an imaginary audience. Explaining aloud forces your brain to retrieve information actively, reinforcing your memory. Yes, active recall can feel challenging at first. It's harder than rereading notes, and that's exactly why it works. The difficulty creates cognitive effort, which signals your brain that the information is important. The harder your brain works to retrieve something, the stronger and longer-lasting the memory becomes. Fast learners embrace this challenge because they understand that temporary discomfort leads to permanent mastery. So, my brilliant students, stop wasting hours rereading your notes. Instead, test yourself, quiz yourself, and recall actively. Make it a habit to practice active recall every time you study, and you'll notice a huge improvement in both speed and retention. Remember, studying isn't about how much time you spend with your eyes on the page. It's about how effectively your brain stores and retrieves information. Active recall is the secret weapon of the fastest learners in the world. Use it consistently, and your memory will become sharper, your understanding deeper, and your ability to study fast will skyrocket. Secret 8. Believe you can learn fast. My brilliant students, now listen carefully, because this last secret is the most powerful of all. Believe that you can learn fast. Most students spend hours on their books, trying every method, every trick, every tip, yet they still feel slow, frustrated, or stuck. Why? Because the biggest secret to learning fast isn't hidden in books, notes, or study techniques. It lives inside your mind, in your beliefs, mindset, and attitude. Your brain is incredible, but it is also highly impressionable. It listens to your words and internal thoughts. If you keep saying things like, "I'm slow," "I'm not smart enough," or "I can't focus," your brain starts to believe these statements. Slowly, they become a self-fulfilling prophecy. You sit down to study, and before you even start, your brain is already limited by your doubts. You try harder, but nothing seems to stick. This is why so many students give up, not because they lack ability, but because they lack belief in themselves. But here's the good news. Your brain also believes positive statements. If you repeat phrases like, "I can learn fast," "I am improving every day," and "my brain is powerful," your brain begins to accept these as truth. Your words shape your mental landscape, fueling confidence, focus, and motivation. The more you tell yourself that you are capable, the more your brain cooperates with you, making learning faster and easier. It's like having a personal coach inside your head, cheering you on every step of the way. Every time you sit to study, start with this mantra: "I'm becoming better. I'm learning faster." Repeat it before reading, before practicing, and even during review sessions. You'll notice subtle changes at first: a small boost in energy, a little more patience, a spark of curiosity. Then, over time, this mindset grows stronger. Your confidence expands, your fear of failure fades, and your energy levels rise naturally. You start approaching difficult topics with excitement rather than dread. You tackle challenges with determination rather than hesitation. Belief doesn't just make you feel good, it physically changes your brain. Neuroscience shows that positive thinking and confidence can strengthen neural pathways, making your learning more efficient. When you believe you can learn quickly, your brain processes and retains information faster. You're not just repeating words, you are rewiring your mind for success. So, my brilliant students, remember this. The fastest learners in the world don't only study hard, they believe hard. They cultivate a mindset that sees every challenge as an opportunity and every mistake as a step toward mastery. Your belief fuels your speed, your memory, and your understanding. It transforms studying from a task into a powerful journey of growth. From today, never underestimate the power of your own belief. Speak words that empower you. Think thoughts that strengthen you. Sit at your desk with confidence, knowing that you are capable of learning faster, understanding deeper, and achieving more than you ever imagined. When you truly believe in yourself, your brain works with you, not against you. And that, my students, is the ultimate secret to studying fast. Believe it, live it, and watch yourself transform into a brilliant, unstoppable learner. Final message: study smart, shine bright. My brilliant students, before we end, I want you to remember one very important truth. Studying fast isn't about rushing through pages or cramming information in a hurry. Fast learning is not measured by how many hours you spend staring at your books. It's measured by how deeply you understand, how clearly you remember, and how joyfully you approach every study session. Anyone can memorize something for a day and forget it tomorrow. But true learners, the ones who succeed, grow, and shine, remember for life. From today, I want you to make a promise to yourself. Promise that every time you study, you will study smart. Set a clear goal before you begin. Decide exactly what you want to achieve in that session. Use your time wisely, not waste it on distractions or random reading. Teach what you learn, because explaining aloud or to yourself strengthens your memory and understanding like nothing else. Draw mind maps and use colors, because your brain loves patterns, images, and visual connections. It helps you remember faster and understand better. Review your lessons at the right intervals, using spaced repetition to make your memory permanent. Create your study zone, a space where focus comes naturally. Keep it clean, organized, and free from distractions. Let your brain recognize this space as a place of productivity, a place where knowledge grows. Practice active recall every day. Don't just read your notes again and again. Test yourself, ask questions, and pull the information from your memory. This is how fast learners strengthen their brains and retain information for the long term. And most importantly, my brilliant students, believe in yourself. Your mindset is the most powerful tool you have. When you say, "I can learn fast," or "I am improving every day," your brain begins to work with you, not against you. Belief fuels your speed, your focus, and your confidence. It turns fear into energy and hesitation into action. Because when you combine all these secrets, goal setting, smart time use, teaching, mind maps, review, an organized study zone, active recall, and strong belief, something magical happens. You don't just learn fast, you grow fast, you rise fast, you achieve fast, you fall in love with the process of learning, and in return, your success falls in love with you. So, my brilliant students, study smart, shine bright, and remember this forever. Learning isn't a race, it's a journey. And the faster you embrace it wisely, the brighter your future becomes. Final words from your teacher. My dear students, if you've watched this far, it means you have the heart of a true learner, someone who is willing to grow, to improve, and to invest in themselves. Remember this: your brain is not born fast or slow. It does not come with limits or labels. Your brain is like clay. It becomes what you shape it to be. The more you train it, challenge it, and nurture it, the stronger, faster, and sharper it becomes. So, train your brain with discipline. Set clear goals, follow smart study techniques, and practice consistently. Feed your mind with positivity. Encourage yourself, celebrate small wins, and focus on your progress instead of comparing yourself to others. Challenge your brain with questions, exercises, and problems that push your limits. And don't forget to reward it with rest. Your brain grows and strengthens when you allow it time to recharge. Here on English Achieve Students Hub, we believe in creating students who don't just study for exams, but learn for life. Every video, every lesson, every tip we share is designed to help you unlock the true potential of your mind. By applying what you've learned today, the 8 secrets of studying fast, you are taking real steps toward becoming the student you've always dreamed of being. One day, if you remain consistent and dedicated, you'll look back and proudly say, "Yes, I became the student I always dreamed to be. You'll see how far you've come, how much you've grown, and how your hard work has transformed your life. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep shining, my brilliant students. Your light is unique, and the world needs it. No one else can bring your energy, your talent, and your perspective. So embrace every lesson, every challenge, and every moment of growth, because your future is brighter than you can imagine.